I was sitting down, I was kind of looking at beautiful things around me and was in the moment. And उसी प्रोसेस में धीरे धीरे मैं एज़ यूजुअल कुछ ख्यालों में बहता हुआ चला गया एंड एक बहुत ही डीप एंड एन इंटरेस्टिंग थॉट मेरे दिमाग में उस टाइम पे आया विच आई वुड लाइक टू से नाउ. So I was kind of transported back to what I was 20 years back, 2002. And while I was thinking and was in that entire atmosphere, I was actually, पुरानी चीज़ें मैं यादें कर रहा था and I was trying to feel those things again. I realized one thing very clearly and surprisingly, जो मैंने पहले कभी सोचा नहीं था. वो ये है कि the person that I was in 2002 and the person that I am today, 2022, बीच का जो vignette, if I can call it in a creative way, और gradient जो है 20 साल का, उसको अगर मैं eliminate कर दूँ, erase कर दूँ, chop कर दूँ, then these are two different individuals altogether. The guy in 2002 and this person in 2022 are absolutely different entities and without any very less similarities. For example, I mean, of course, I look very different. My dressing sense has been entirely different from what I was in 2002 and what I am now. My priorities have changed. 2002, I had different kind of priorities in life. 2022, absolutely different. Things which were of concern to me are very different from which are of concern to me now. जो चीज़ें मेरे को importance and focus थी, जो चीज़ें मेरे को impact करती थी उस point of time पे, now different things impact me and those things do not have any value for me anymore at this point of time. My behavioral patterns, my thought process, my sensitiveness to certain things are entirely different today. I'm sensitive to some different other things. My my ability to or my reaction to things are in a very different manner right now. What I was surrounded at that point of time with the environment, the people, the circumstances today are entirely different. So just a thought. So I don't know आपके साथ भी सेम होता है कि नहीं. And I'm sure अगर आप कभी deeply सोचेंगे इस चीज़ को, आप बैठ के आराम से deeply सोचेंगे, probably this might be true to you as well. That two very different individuals altogether, and both of those individuals are me, and I'm absolutely been loving this entire journey from what I was in 2002 and what I am now. So yeah, I think with that I would like to talk about another beautiful incidents etched deep in my memory. ये 2002 का उसी phase में है and I was settling down in the suburban area, if I can call it that way, of London, Wembley, which is where I'd stayed initially when I'd reached there. एंड धीरे धीरे मैं एक्लेमेटाइज होता गया उस जगह के साथ, धीरे धीरे मैं चीज़ें समझने लग गया. Obviously, like I'd said in my previous blog, the link is ऊपर, I'd figured out a small part-time job. So होता है ना, आप एक कोई नई जगह पे जाते हैं तो इनिशियली आपको बड़े सारी चीज़ें नई लगती है, खुशबू आपको नया लगता है जगह का, जो आप देख रहे हो एब्सोल्युटली डिफरेंट है. एंड बड़े सारे आपको चीज़ें आपके अंदर एक इंक्विजिटिवनेस होती है कि ये लेन कहाँ जाती है, वो लेन कहाँ पे जाती है, ये सड़क कहाँ पे जाती है, वहाँ पे जाके क्या है, एंड ऑल दोस बिकॉज यू डोंट नो अबाउट दैट प्लेस. And here I was absolutely in a different country altogether for the first time in my life. So obviously वो जो inquisitive levels थी were very high initially. But then the only way to meet those or satiate those inquisitiveness demands of the mind are to explore. तो वो मैंने किया. मैं every day evening को after wrapping up my work I would walk around and हर जहाँ पे मेरा माइंड जाता था कि अच्छा ये लेन पे वॉक करके देखता हूँ कि एग्जैक्टली है क्या, रिगार्डलेस ऑफ द टाइम. सो ऑब्वियसली मेरे को इवनिंग को ही टाइम मिलता था ऑन द वीक डेज. So 7-8 o'clock के बाद it used to get dark again. The English weather of rains, drizzle, thund. So I would walk down all those lanes and by lanes of Wembley and the adjacent Alperton, Ealing Road, Wembley High Street. तो मैं हमेशा walk करता था. Obviously वहाँ पे rickshaws and all those were not there. So मुझे अच्छा लगता था walk करने में. I would ideally take a kit bag. सामान मैं वहाँ पे थोड़ी बहुत चीज़ें रखता था खाने पीने की. एक बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज़ जो मुझे पता चला वहाँ पे, नॉट कॉल इट इम्पॉर्टेंट, वेरी पॉपुलर रादर, इट्स कॉल्ड वॉकर्स. यहाँ पे जैसे लेज है वहाँ पे वॉकर्स है. तो वॉकर्स इज़ अ वेरी फेमस क्रिस्प ब्रांड. और नया चीज़ जो मैंने सीखा, वहाँ पे चिप्स नहीं बोलते हैं, वहाँ पे क्रिस्प बोलते हैं. So chips is a very different thing altogether. So which is what I'll tell you another interesting story at later date. Chicken and chips, fish and chips, वो अलग होते हैं chips. Whereas what we have, wafers, it's called crisp out there. So which I learned, I got to know, new lingo, and I was very proud about it. नई चीज़ें सीख रहा था. तो वही walkers crisp लेके and with a bit of a lemonade or some kind of a what you call fizzy drink लेके I used to walk around lanes by lanes. ऐसे करते करते मुझे वेम्बली पूरा समझ में आ गया था. And over a period of 3 months I was very familiar with that place. और मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता था. Obviously Asian flavor was there. Obviously a lot of, I mean, like I said earlier in my blogs, Wembley, Alperton, Ealing, these were all Asian areas, primarily inhabited by the Gujaratis and the Tamils, and Sri Lankans. तो फिर ऐसे अगेन मैं सुबह को भी इन द मॉर्निंग्स आई यूज्ड टू गो फॉर अ जॉग. एंड कहाँ पे जॉगिंग जाता था, एंड लंडन हैज़ गॉट सम फैंटास्टिक canal routes. I mean, it's a city which is beautifully connected by canals, and every location has its connection or a network of canals. और बढ़िया चीज़ ये है उस canals में, you'll see a lot of this fantastic houseboats. जो पतली पतली बोट्स होती है वो उस कनाल्स में चलती रहती है. एंड सम पीपल लिव देयर ऑल्सो. एंड द एंटायर लंडन इज़ कनेक्टेड थ्रू कनाल सिस्टम्स. और वेम्बली में जहाँ पे मैं रहता था, उस घर के थोड़ा सा पीछे देयर वाज ऑफ कोर्स अ स्मॉल कनाल विच यूज्ड टू गो. एंड अर्ली मॉर्निंग बिफोर आई वुड हेड फॉर माई कॉलेज, ऑफ कोर्स मेरे पास उस टाइम पे पैसे इतने नहीं थे कि मैं कोई जिम में ज्वाइन करूँ. इनिशियल टाइम की बात कर रहा हूँ. तो द ओनली फिटनेस दैट आई यूज्ड टू डू वाज आई यूज्ड टू काइंड ऑफ जॉग. एंड वेदर वाज ग्रेट. The climate was fantastic. पसीने आते नहीं थे, and I would kind of jog. I would with my what you call trainer pairs. I would just kind of go on for a jog. और उसी दौरान, उस जॉगिंग प्रोसेस के दौरान भी मुझे बहुत सारे जगह मुझे पता चला. एंड कनाल रोड्स आर सो फैंटास्टिक. साइड में कनाल जाती रहती है, एंड यू गॉट द स्मॉल लिटिल पेव्ड फुटपाथ टाइप्स, ब्लॉक्ड कॉबल्ड रोड होते हैं. कुछ कुछ जगह पे मिट्टी होती है. अगेन यू हैव दिस कॉबल्ड. सर्टेन प्लेसेस यू गॉट दिस पीच मेटल रोड्स, वेरी थिन, नैरो. ऐसे करते 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 आई वुड फिगर आउट अ लॉट ऑफ प्लेसेस, एंड आई वुड सडनली रियलाइज, अरे मैं वेम्बली से निकला था, ये तो इधर आ पहुंचा, सेंसबरीज आ पहुंचा. एक जगह है सेंसबरीज एज अ स्टोर, वेम्बली के पीछे ही था, दूर. सो वहाँ पे आ पहुंचा, और एल्पर्टन के पीछे. सो ऐसे बहुत सारे मैंने जगह डिस्कवर किया था. एंड आई टू जॉग फॉर अ वेरी लॉन्ग टाइम, अप्रॉक्सीमेटली एन आवर्स टाइम. तो इस तरीके से मल्टीपल चीज़ें, एक तो वॉक अराउंड इन द इवनिंग एंड फिगर आउट दोज प्लेसेस. दूसरा जॉगिंग इन द मॉर्निंग. तीसरा गोइंग वाइल गोइंग टू एंड कमिंग फ्रॉम माई कॉलेज, दैट एंटायर प्रोसेस. उस तरीके से मैं वेम्बली धीरे धीरे एंड एल्पर्टन, स्पेशली द एरिया दैट आई लिव्ड, मैं जानने चालू हो गया मेरे को. एंड दिस वाज माई स्ट्रैटेजी कि मैं जहाँ पे रहता हूँ पहले उस जगह को पूरा अच्छी तरह से स्कैन कर लूँ, एंड देन आई मूव हेड. तो ऐसे ही मेरा लाइफ वाज गोइंग ऑन वेरी नाइस. हैड अ स्मॉल सर्कल ऑफ गुजराती फ्रेंड्स आउट देयर, एंड जिनके साथ नॉर्मली सैटरडेज एंड संडेज को आई वुड प्रॉब्ली काइंड ऑफ हैंग आउट वंस इन अ वाइल. दे वुड टेक मी कि चलो आज इधर चलते, इसके घर चलते, आज उसके घर चलते. I was not very fond of going to people's houses on a weekend and then talking about all the crap that we used to talk back here, like वही जिसको बोलते हैं ना बक, So I was not very interested in doing that bucksy and imagine going to London and what you're doing on a weekend, you're going to a few people whom you know who are from your land, of course, and वहाँ पे जाके आप बक्सी कर रहे हो वहाँ पे, and that's your Saturday, and over certain food and drinks. I think at that age, at the age of 21, 22, and having going to London, been able to go to London, so that was definitely not my idea of spending a weekend. So eventually, of course, I avoided going to such kind of places. But then, of course, दोस्ती तो अच्छी हो गई थी, and एक चीज़ था कि in the hostel which I was staying, it's not really a hostel. I mean, you can term it as a hostel, but it was more of a house, where different rooms were allocated to different students. Ideally two. अब इंडिया से तो इतना पता करना बहुत मुश्किल था, वो भी उस ज़माने में व्हेन इंटरनेट एंड ऑल दोस वर नॉट वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग, एंड करने वाले मेरे पेरेंट्स एंड मी बेसिकली वही थे. सो आई मीन इतना इन्फॉर्मेशन गैदर करने का पॉसिबल उस टाइम पे था नहीं. सो इवेंचुअली व्हाट आई रियलाइज वाज दिस वाज अ बिग बंगलो एंड विच वर बेसिकली ईच रूम्स वर गिवन टू 2 स्टूडेंट्स. सो एंड ऑल ऑफ देम वर गुजरातीज. गुड हाउस, बिग हाउस. सो उसमें क्या था, फैसिलिटी ये था कि evening meal was of course there for us, which was thankfully there, hot piping Indian food. Even though they were Gujaratis, but then non-veg food was of course, normally lamb was being cooked on 1 or 2 days, and lamb was quite a fascination for all of us out there. और उस वहीं पे मैंने पहली बार लैम्ब एक्चुअली टेस्ट किया था, अच्छा लगा था मुझे. तो खैर, आई मीन इवन द ओनर वाज आल्सो नाइस. ही वाज आल्सो सम पटेल, वेरी नाइस फ्रेंडली गाय. उनका फोटोग्राफ है मेरे पास, बट अभी मेरे हाथ में नहीं है, हेंस आई कैन नॉट पुट इट इन द वीडियो. इट्स बैक इन आवर होम इन मुंबई. सो ही वुड ऑफ्टन ब्रिंग सम चॉकलेट्स और समथिंग और द अदर फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस, So that was nice, but then the problem was din pe. In the day there was nobody who would cook the food. So in the day it was up to you, because obviously the idea was कि दिन में आप university जाते हैं, college जाते हैं, जहाँ भी जाते हैं आप काम करने के लिए, so you will cater to yourself. So it was only in the night the dinner was there. अब problem होता था Saturdays and Sundays को, because Saturdays and Sundays I did not have college. I would be at home. So then of course I figured out, in fact this Gujarati guys, these friends of mine, they only said कि एक काम करते हैं हम लोग स्वामी नारायण टेम्पल जाते हैं. I said what's that? He said कि यहाँ पे गुजराती में गुजराती बोलो वेम्बली में there's a massive temple. It's called the Swami Narayan temple. I said oh okay, but I said I kind of, again I was like, well I mean I am God loving. उस टाइम पे शायद फियरिंग भी था, बट आई एम गॉड लविंग, बट नॉट रियली द काइंड ऑफ गाय हु वुड स्पेंड अ संडे इन अ टेम्पल. यार आई मीन प्लीज़, आई मीन मैं लंदन आया हूँ, वो टेम्पल ऑन अ संडे, आई मीन प्लीज़, आई डू अंडरस्टैंड, आई मीन वी आर वेरी कल्चरल रिलीजियस, बट नॉट ऑन अ संडे और अ सैटरडे. लंदन अकेला एट द एज ऑफ 21, आई मीन नॉट मी. Then I was told no, that's not the objective. वहाँ पे एक्चुअली क्या होता है, संडेज को या आई थिंक सैटरडेज को, वन ऑफ दोज डेज लंगर लगता है. I said oh that's interesting. हाँ, तो वहाँ पे लंगर लगता है. So the objective of going to the temple were two. One was of course primarily the langar जो दिन में लगता था, and it was, I was told it was a fantastic cuisine and बड़े सारे spread थे. I said wow. With sweets, I was even told कि भाई लड्डूस भी मिलते हैं, ये भी मिलता है, वो भी मिलता है. Oh, that's interesting. I'm game. I can be religious. I can appear to look very religious for that day, every Sunday. That was one reason. And the second reason these guys told me कि वहाँ पे इतनी लड़कियाँ आती है, ये Gujaratis who are basically born and brought up or basically citizens of UK, so there are possibilities that somebody might find you might find somebody, or some kind of matchmaking might happen. I said, but I'm not really looking at getting hooked up at that age. So of course that was my thought process, but वहाँ के जो मेरे friends थे उनका idea ये था कि I mean you need to get settled out there. So if some Gujarati female, young girl, good looking, etc. जो भी उनको criteria था, अगर आपको पसंद कर लेते हैं, match making हो जाता है, तो you become a citizen of that place. I said, well, I mean, ठीक है, वो तुम्हारा सोच है, you're most welcome to do it. I will be going there basically for one, for the food, and two, yeah, let me see how the girls are out there. You know? Let's get a hang of it. You know, starting, you know, touching, tasting the waters. You know, let's get started with that. Why not? But not, of course, from the intent or the perspective of getting married and all that. All that definitely not. I cannot commit suicide at the age of 21, 22, please, if I can call it that way. I was not even prepared mentally. So, khair. So ऐसे ही एक one fine day, you know, we all of us, the 4 or 5 gang of friends, you know, Guju friends and me, the non-Guju, we all went. And I was told, I was kind of trained कि बहुत ही मतलब religious types of तिलक विलक लेके जाना है. I said okay, okie dokie. So गए and we walked down and Wembley में ही था. I'm exactly forgetting the area कहाँ पे था, but it is such a fantastic piece of architecture. The first thing which came across to my mind, it was so brilliant, it was so huge, and it was so spread across and so you know, इतनी सारे intricate, or I don't know what is that word, इतनी complex carvings किए गए थे. And this was in the you know, pretty much the heart of the United Kingdom in London. And I said, wow. I mean, and this was all Indian. I was like kind of awestruck with the kind of the grandeur जो वो आपका the temple was. तो मैं देख रहा था and I was looking, and I mean for a moment मैं वही gate पे खड़े होके पूरा grandeur of the temple देख रहा था. It's the first time I'd actually come to this temple or any Swaminarayan temple for the matter. And then of course my friends kind of चल time हो रहा है, बंद हो जाएगा and all that. I said ठीक है, let's go. And I walked. And there were a lot of Asian, you know, I could see. I mean, very few white or black people around. Mostly Asian Indians who were primarily Gujaratis. And one of like me who is not a Gujarati but then taking advantage of the brown skin and coming there with his friends to have the food and of course the women. So I say, but mostly of course I mean 90% of them were kind of Asian Indian guys and girls, you know, and with their families of course. So I was really soaking into that atmosphere. I was being nice. I was also keeping an eye out on all the women and the girls out there, and most of my Gujarati mates out here, they were kind of doing all those जो हम लोग करते हैं ना, वो हिंदी फिल्मों में दिखाते हैं, देखने के बाद झापड़ भी खाते हैं लोग, तो वो लोग कर रहे थे. खैर, so I wasn't there really, but I was really kind of soaking into that entire atmosphere. तो देखते देखते as time was running out, there was a set of flight of stairs. It was a big wide flight of stairs, you know. तो I walked up the flight of stairs and मैं थोड़ी देर के लिए रेलिंग में खड़ा हुआ था, साइड में रेलिंग, एंड चारों तरफ I think there was some kind of a water body पतला सा which was running around, and उस रेलिंग में मैं खड़े होके ऐसे मैं I was just soaking into that atmosphere because मेरे पास टाइम ही टाइम था. It was I think off day, and I was looking. Weather was of course fantastic. London weather था. I was just looking around. Boom. And suddenly, I just felt that I've seen this place somewhere. ये जगह मैं पहले देख चुका हूँ. And not only मैं देख चुका हूँ, मैं इस जगह पे आ चुका हूँ. That's what I felt. I know that might sound stupid, I'm saying this, but I don't know what you call it. You call it a deja vu or you call it whatever vu. But all I knew is at the same place, at the same location, I had stood there and I exactly was witnessing the same thing which I had already witnessed before. And for a moment, while I'm saying this, मेरे बाल अभी भी खड़े हो रहे हैं हाथ के. So that was kind of a moment where I froze, and I don't know कैसे मैं आपको बताऊं, तो suddenly I was being transported back even 10-15 years पीछे वहाँ पे रहते हुए, when I was in school, और मैंने सपने में, in my dreams in my school, I had seen the same kind of a temple which was like this grand, with multiple levels, and ऊपर तक पहुंचने के लिए you need to get up to the flight of stairs, and वहाँ पे railings है, वहाँ पे आप खड़े होंगे, नीचे देखेंगे, you had this stream of water flowing. That was a moment for me, and I was like, damn, my fuck, I have seen this place before. Of course, if not been there, I haven't been there in my physical form at least, but at least मैं जो सपना, जिस intensity से मैंने देखा, वो सपना मैंने देखा था शायद when I was in, I don't know what, in probably school or probably in college, first year. I had never been to London. I'd never heard of a Swaminarayan temple or any structure like this. I hadn't. But, well, that dream itna evidently मेरे अंदर etched था, which I can tell you right now itself, कि यहाँ पे जाके I knew this was the place, or at least it had to be a place like this. I kind of, wow. Number 2, when I looked around and I saw the Asian Indian guys, their appearance had a particular style, a fashion statement, jo bhi keh le. Most of these Asian Indian guys and girls were very slim. They're short. Their face cut was very slim, unlike हमारे जैसे गोलू मोलू नहीं है. Neither, इससे नीचे तो मैं कैमरा लेके भी नहीं जाऊंगा. I'm so fat. Okay, so they were not like round. They were like slim, straight faces. Their hair, especially the women, they'd got very straight, blunt, slim hair. I don't know what cut is that. Very slim, straight down hair. Very straight, falling down on their shoulders. The guys would have had hair which was like kind of spiked up. Asian Indian guys I'm talking about. Again, thin guys, spiked up hairs, all of them, gelled up. They would wear very slim dresses, body-fitting dresses, even if it's a formal trouser, or the girls wearing, the dresses, they'll be very slim-fit dresses. And on top of that, they'll be having a black coat, long coat, because of course it's cold and it's raining. Most of the dresses were dark shades of black. Obviously, उस temple में नहीं था, but then standing there, those things were also coming to my mind, जो मैं notice किया था इस पिछले 3 महीने में, कि these were the people who would be mostly moving around in the evening in dark dresses, long coats में. I had seen the same sort of people in another dream around the same period of time when I'd seen that temple ka dream, or probably a couple of years aage piche. But then this dream was so vividly experienced by me that I still can see that dream. And of course the setup was a little different. The same kind of people, the same language, they were all holding whiskeys or some kind of a drink. It was a very cold place, of course, evident from the dream that I was saying. Or a fireplace chal rahi thi, and I was in that kind of a social gathering जहाँ पे चारों तरफ लड़के लड़कियाँ, young guys and girls were there of the same age group that I was in now. I mean now in the sense that 2002 phase में 21, 22 years of age, and the same kind of appearances that I had been witnessing in 2002 in London, in Wembley. Same set of people, similar kind of a people, same dressing sense, same atmosphere. So I don't know what it is. इसको क्या कहते हैं? Dream come true, or it's, I really do not know. But then I was absolutely experiencing the place which I had seen in my dreams back in school. I was experiencing, or I was amongst people who were very similar to what I had seen in my dreams. I was in a place, London, of course. And the architecture and the surroundings and the ambience, the feel, weather was exactly the same which I had seen in my dreams long time back, when I was in school. And one more phenomenon, in my dreams I'd seen, in one of my other dreams I'd seen, there was a road, दोनों side में bungalows हैं, and trees were there जिसमें leaves are not there. And exactly in London, the same, even in Wembley where I was there, and every other place in London, of course, it's the same. You got this road which is going down there, dono side bungalows hai, the houses, typical London houses, Victorian houses, if you can call it that way. And the trees, fall season where the leaves fall, and the trees have only those, whatever you call them, branches, and no leaves, and leaves are all on the floor. So, of course, that didn't let me become a sadhu or a monk or started believing in supernatural stuff. It didn't. Of course, I had come there for a purpose and I was pretty much grounded. But for a moment, I was taken aback. I don't know, ye kya hota hai? I really do not know. I mean, probably, if somebody could let me know what is this, I'll be very glad. But then, yes, I mean, this was an experience that I felt out there. Care. Post that, I had my beautiful cuisine. I mean, prasad, of course. I mean, with all my folded, humble hand, it was a fantastic spread of prasad, bhog, whatever you call it. And I had that and burped a number of times to the extent that some people actually looked at me, who is this guy? Khana hi khai ja raha bhog. Anyways, okay, I came back home. I hope you liked this story. Of course, a very deep etched memory again. And ऐसे कई सारे और memories हैं मेरे अंदर जो मैं एक एक करके मेरे जैसे जैसे मैं बोलता रहता हूँ मेरे अंदर आते रहते हैं. And I will of course record those memories as well especially for me, my family to see and witness the situation probably a couple of years down the line जब हमारे memories fade होना चालू होगा. And of course in the process आप लोगों के लिए भी if you can relate to it in some or the other way and enjoy it too. Thank you, have fun and have a great day, morning, evening, night, whichever part of the world you are. See you around.